COVID-19 decides to strike again, this time shooting itself right into our Star Trek universe franchise. Let's pour it up! Hey everybody, Ketwolski here. Welcome back to the Earl Grey Pour Up Show. We haven't done one in a little while. I've been kind of focused a little bit on the Star Trek Picard show reviews, but now that that's over, I am back to talking about a bunch of other things related to the Star Trek universe. Namely, what's going on with the Star Trek productions in relations to the coronavirus COVID-19 kind of pandemic that has gone all over the globe. Now, I would say that a lot of productions are being impacted by this, not just CBS, not just Star Trek. We've had major motion productions like Mulan put completely on hold for right now, which is costing millions of dollars for Disney. We've had Netflix basically end production on the majority of their productions all around the world. We've had HBO do something similar. So this is definitely impacting the industry as a whole. In fact, I was just reading an article the other day that was talking about how cinemas fear that they're not going to be able to weather this storm and that they're all going to go bankrupt. I don't know if that's the case, but bottom line is the entertainment industry is going to be and is currently being impacted very negatively from the COVID-19 coronavirus situation. Namely that a lot of shows that are in post-production are having to move to remote work because people aren't allowed to go to their actual business, in their jobs to do their work there. Or things that were about to start filming and into production have been delayed. And now that we arrive at our topic of today, which is the current, sort of productions kind of going on with Star Trek. So just to clarify, we're talking about Picard, Discovery, and essentially kind of Lower Decks. And I'm sure it also has some larger kind of implications for the entire franchise moving forward and the other announcements they were probably going to be doing this year, but we'll get kind of to that at the end here. So let's first talk about Picard Season 2. The first season has, of course, already wrapped up, which is great, and I'm doing my full season review on that, which we'll talk about that another time, but obviously right before the show kind of came out, everyone was talking about how the show had already been renewed for a second season. So we knew this was coming. It was already on the books, Production Weekly. All of these individuals are already doing, a lot of discussions about it. We've already started to talk about cast hiring, such as Robert Picardo and Whoopi Goldberg and returning cast members and Sir Patrick Stewart coming back and all those things. So things were kind of moving ahead. And what we saw just recently on the most recent issue of Production Weekly is that the show appears to have been delayed. And this is, of course, due to the COVID-19 outbreak. Now, I can't guarantee that's the reason that it's related to that, but considering the fact that all of Hollywood and the majority of Los Angeles is completely shut down, and that's where Star Trek Picard films, yes, it makes a lot of sense that they wouldn't be bringing the very elderly, very old Sir Patrick Stewart to a hotspot where he may get infected with a disease or a virus that could end his life, or any of the other production and crew members for that matter. It is definitely impactful for a lot of people, regardless of their age, old or young, sick or healthy, whatever it is. So it's very dangerous to be going into that California area and bringing a whole crew there and having them going through the rigors and the exhaustion associated with doing a production. So obviously the show is being delayed, which makes sense, but hopefully it's not delayed for too long because I think everybody wants to see what's going on with the second season. So kind of moving on, obviously Discovery was the next one up. We've seen the initial trailer back at, I think it was New York Comic-Con or San Diego Comic-Con. I want to say it was New York that released the trailer. And we just got a couple extra teases that were attached to the final episode of Picard, which is essentially just like a stop-motion type thing. It wasn't a stop-motion, but a slow-motion, kind of graphic of Burnham holding up the tattered Federation flag, and it just says coming soon. That seems to be kind of the official statement right now, which is that it's just coming soon. We did have Wilson Cruz and also Anthony Rapp talk a little bit about this, and they basically shared the exact same bit of information, which is that the show is finished, but they're trying to do the finishing touches on the post-production, specifically the visual effects, but they're not done yet because the slow up of the individuals who would go to the visual effects workhouse can't get there, and they're having to do some of this work remotely. And then, of course, the entire concept of data sharing that many documents and that large amount of documentation kind of moving back and forth for those media files must be insane. So hopefully they'll figure something out that kind of enables them to kind of move forward and kind of get those things going. But as of right now, it's going to be at least a little bit delayed. But again, I was only estimating it to be coming out in June, but there was no hard date on that, and that's still pretty far off. So it's unclear if they intended it on being sooner than June and we are actually going to get it in June, or if it's going to be past that. Nothing is concrete right now. The only thing we have officially is just coming soon. And finally, of course, Lower Decks, which, from what I hear, has already gotten a few episodes completed, and they're well within, the realm of getting their show completed by the end of the year, which I think is when they're slotted to kind of go, which was kind of post-Discovery. So it was going to be Picard, Discovery, Lower Decks this year, and from what I understand, they're still moving on. I think I saw a tweet from Michael McMahon, who is the, kind of showrunner for, the Lower Deck series, and said that they were already doing a lot of remote work as it was, so this didn't really necessarily impact them too much. So that's really good, and hopefully they'll be able to kind of crank things out. I would be interested to see if, because the visual effects folks can't get in to finish up Discovery Season 3, if they try to then pump out Lower Decks first. That would be kind of interesting. That would be rather a big surprise, I think, and kind of a welcome thing, I think. And I just do a Star Wars quote there for some reason.
A surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one.
I don't know. But I think it would be fun to kind of flip it around and kind of subvert our expectations, and they give us Lower Decks instead of Discovery. That would be kind of interesting, or maybe just an episode just to kind of keep the interest going through CBS All Access and Amazon Prime or whatever it is. So that would be kind of cool. I'd be definitely excited to see that. So, of course, the larger implications for the Star Trek universe and the Star Trek franchise right now, obviously a lot of the main kind of comic fests that they were going to be participating in, including their own Viacom CBS Roadshow with a press release tour, that all got canceled and or suspended because of the COVID-19 situation. So we haven't gotten the same amount of probably announcements for the upcoming new live action and animated shows that we would have normally have gotten up to this point. I don't think that they're looking to release information out just yet because as of right now, San Diego and New York Comic Con are still going to be going on, but that could of course change. Star Trek Las Vegas is still going on, but that could of course change. So if those events kind of get shuffled around or they get flat out canceled, then we may see some kind of online kind of release of information for these upcoming shows because they got to keep their buzz going. They have to keep their marketing strategy and their PR team kind of working, even though they're doing it probably remotely, but they got to keep them kind of moving and keep the buzz around Star Trek going. And they also can't just let this situation pass them by. Now is the perfect opportunity for them to kind of inject a lot of Star Trek in front of people's little tiny screens, which is I think why they also just gave out that free month of CBS All Access to stateside users, so that way they can get the opportunity to watch Picard all the way through, because now it's done, and hopefully they'll stay on and, and then watch Discovery Season 1, Season 2, the short treks, and then what have you. So I think that they're already kind of seeing that there's an opportunity here, but they're struggling probably a little bit to be like, Lower Decks isn't quite done, and Star Trek Discovery isn't quite there yet, and so what are we going to do? So they're probably trying to figure that out behind the scenes. It's just speculation on my part, but hopefully they don't let this situation kind of pass them by. I know that sounds like, how could I be thinking about business in a time of impactfulness? Well, what makes them money and keeps their employees employed and provides healthcare to those people who are working for them, and they can take care of their families. Like, it's all a business, yeah, but they have employees that need their money. It's not just, a corporate entity that's just, this monolith that just does everything that they, as a group. They have employees that need to get money too, and in order to do that, they got to make some shows and then get the shows out and people enjoy them and they buy more, and then the whole, business cycle continues. So that's why I'm like, hopefully they allow this to kind of, get some more Trek out in front of folks. And they've been doing a lot of work on social media through Twitter and Facebook to kind of keep pushing the Star Trek Picard stuff, but even the legacy Star Trek stuff as well, to kind of get people aware that Star Trek is on CBS All Access and they want people to come and watch it. So it's going really good for them so far, and I can't wait to see what we get in the next couple of months. All right, guys and gals, that wraps up today's Earl Grey Pour Up. I know it was kind of a quick one. We didn't really have too many news stories, and I assume it's going to get a little dry over the next couple of weeks because they're not doing a whole lot with Star Trek, as I kind of talked about in this video. So we'll see what happens. I'll keep everybody up to date, obviously any information that I kind of get moving forward. And I'll be around the channel, doing my Picard full season reviews and more live streams to keep people entertained. And we'll just kind of keep up with that audience interaction so we all don't get bored and, don't get depression, kind of in your house type of thing. So anyways, guys and gals, throw up your comments down below. Let me know what you think about this delay of the Picard show and Discovery and potentially Lower Decks as well. And what do you think is going to be coming out now? Do you think it'll be Discovery or do you think it'll be Lower Decks? I'm curious to hear what you guys and gals think. Throw up your stuff down below. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Live long and prosper, Metricus!